So it's my absolute honor and pleasure to be joined here in Barcelona to meet Ajith Kumar. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort. Can you just describe it for us?
A lot of preparation, be it mental or physical. This is the Porsche 992 Cup car that we race in the endurance series. I am pursuing something that I very dearly love, and in the process, if it reaches out to people and people start following the sport, it's good for the sport.
That's just a glimpse of what goes on right now. I don't know if you've seen the movie F1.
Yes, I did.
Do you ever toy with the idea of doing something similar?
But if it does happen organically, why not? Maybe a collaboration, Hollywood collaboration.
What first struck me is the fact that we have the tricolour put up here.
I was very proud to be an Indian.
I'm just curious here. The other racers have any sense of the fanfare around Ajith? That speed, what does it feel like to be in the car driving at that speed?
As a driver, you're not thinking about you don't realize the speed that you're doing until you go off the circuit or you have a bad crash. See, you're pushing the limits of the car, you're testing your own limits, you're pushing your limit. So accidents and crashes are bound to happen. All the surgeries that I underwent were due to injuries I sustained at the shooting spot while performing my stunts. That didn't deter me. Why would it deter me in motorsport? Mark my words, I hope it happens during my lifetime. But there will be a day when we will have an Indian driver who will go on to become a Formula 1 world champion.
You've seen the video that your wife posted on Instagram that went viral? And she said, melts my heart and cracks me up. So many of these young fans, they'll not forgive me if I don't ask you also what's coming up as far as your films are concerned. He's a legend in Tamil cinema. He lives life on the fast track. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. I met him a couple of months ago, and what stood out for me was the sheer passion that he had for motorsport, for racing. I've come all the way down to Barcelona, and guess what struck me the most? That all of his efforts have led to the Indian flag also flying high and proudly here in Barcelona. Yes, a few months ago, I spoke with superstar Ajith about a motor race, about motorsport, and how there's so much that can be done for it in India. Now, there is one side, of course, of cinema, which is glamorous, but combine that with the grit of racing, and that perhaps explains what makes Ajith who he is right now, what makes him so not just driven, but also grounded. The fact that you have the glamour coupled with the grit of motor racing. So it's my absolute honor and pleasure to be joined here in Barcelona. I've come all the way to meet Ajith Kumar. Thank you very much, sir. Vanakkam. Thank you for having me here in Barcelona. I know it's a very busy time for you, but you made a promise that you'd give me an interview, and thank you for ensuring that you live up to that.
Thank you for coming, Arshidan. It's a pleasure having you here with us. And we want you to experience what this racing is all about, motorsports.
Can you put it in words for us? What's it like the days before a race when there's all of this testing happening? I got a glimpse of it and I was enamored because I'm a newbie. I haven't seen much of motorsport. This is my first time in the pit as well. So it's fascinating for me. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort. Can you just describe it for us?
Just like any other sport. It's very, very demanding. A lot of preparation. Be it mental or for physical, working on the cars, setting them up, and then it's a team event where we have 4 to 5 drivers, sometimes 3, depending on the series that you're a part of. getting to know your teammates and getting to match your times and make sure that the team is competitive.
Yeah.
And so it begins. Like, for example, we are here in Barcelona for the 24-hour Crementic 24-hour series. It's the last round of the championship. And this happens to be a 24-hour race. So we have 5 drivers in the team now.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we come in on a, let's say, a Sunday or Monday, meet up with the team, the mechanics, and then we have a race engineer and who briefs us on how we would go about the weekend with the setup of the car and like the track temperatures. Everything changes,
Right.
like in the mornings, in the afternoons, so track temperatures change.
Yeah.
So everything, right from the tires that we would use, that the temperature, the tires need to be in different sessions, and all these things are discussed. And then we have an option of choosing to do paid practice sessions. See, a lot of drivers are professionals who race in different series. So when a series starts up on a race weekend, they normally start practice on a Thursday, right? So then Friday they have big quarter, they have another, let's say, half a day for qualification. And then post lunch, for practice, the first half will go, the day goes for loop practice. And then the second half is for qualification, where all the drivers in the team need to drive and they need to qualify. And then the average time is taken into account for the grid positions for the race the following day, like or 24. So there's a 24-hour race.
And it's non-stop.
Yeah, so this event this weekend is a 24-hour race.
So this is the car that you usually drive. Is this your favorite?
This is the Porsche 992 Cup car that we race in the endurance series, the 12 hours and 24-hour race. And it's been a great year of learning, accomplishments, and podium finishes in Dubai, Spa, and Mugello.
What's it feeling? I mean, when I enter, I saw the tricolor of flying here. It was written Ajith Kumar Racing Company. I'm not sure we've ever seen the tricolor at this kind of motor racing event. So, is that the intention? Is that the idea of starting all this, of doing all this?
To be honest, I'm pursuing something which I love dearly. So I wouldn't want to sound pompous by saying, oh, I'm trying to do something for the sport. I am pursuing something that I very dearly love. And in the process, if it reaches out to people and people start following the sport, it's good for the sport. And since you mentioned the tricolor, Naren Karthikeyan, Karun Chandok, Jahan Daruwala, Khush Maini, they have all raised the Indian flags on podiums in different series. So I'm not the first, but yes, it is a proud moment when you see the Indian tricolor in the pits or on the podium. It's a wonderful feeling. It's very overwhelming.
There's a lot of space for India to grow also in motorsport. I think that's largely the reality in many sports in India, that it doesn't get the focus that it needs to. Do you think that's the case for motorsport as well, that it needs a lot more attention? The spotlight needs to be on it for people to know that this is something that's an option for them to see.
See, firstly, unfortunately, racing, motorsports is considered glamorous.
It's not?
It isn't anything. I mean, it is anything but glamorous. For example, they think, yeah, it's a rich man's sport. If you look at most of the drivers on the grid in any series, be it Formula One or the World Endurance Championship, any format, 80% of the drivers are struggling to find sponsors. And believe me when I say they're some of the best drivers in the world. So it's all about sponsorship. Now, let us take India for example. It's a country of 1.4 plus billion people. It is wrong for us to expect funding from the government.
Right.
Yeah, because there are so many other important issues for them to deal with.
I'm making a pitch call.
No,
Government is step.
let me tell you I could be wrong, I don't know, but I'm just telling you what is in my mind. It is wrong for us to expect funding from governments, be it the state government or the central government, because the leaders or the bureaucrats have a lot more important issues to deal with. But yes, what the governments can do is probably direct the corporates to support the sport, and for the governments to recognize motorsports, give it the recognition that it deserves. Like, once we get the recognition, once it is recognized as not a rich man's sport but a truly demanding sport. I mean, leave alone the money part, because it takes, I mean, logistics. Look, I mean, there are about 60 cars on the grid, and when, for example, to move this whole, the cars, the mechanics from one country to another, logistics, it costs a lot of money. So it's a very, very tough sport. It takes a toll on everything, your personal life. I mean, you could hurt yourself. I mean, loss of life, limb. There's so many things involved. So it's anything but glamorous. Believe me when I say that. So what we probably expect is for corporates to come in.
Right.
Now look at all the automobile manufacturers. Look at our Indian brands. They're doing so well internationally. Be it Tata, Mahindra. Name. I mean, I can go on and on. It's when the government recognizes motorsports, always seek us recognition, saying, "Please recognize the sport."
What do you mean by recognition? Do you kind of want them to publicize it more?
Not exactly. See, again, it's the events that are held in India. Not very many.
Yeah.
We have a lot of international championship. I mean, national events being conducted, but that alone is not enough. Now, for example, if you look at the same series, Krementik, they also have the Asian series, and this time they have convinced Sepang, Malaysian government, and they are conducting one event at Sepang. So we will have 3 rounds: one in Malaysia, Sepang, one in Dubai, and another one Abu Dhabi. Now, I am told that the customs duties for bringing these cars or taking these cars back is a little complicated. So if the government can ease the process, we might have one round of the Asian series in India, depending on where the promoters have. I mean, depending on the circuit that they choose. We have circuits in Delhi, the Buddh circuit. We have a circuit in Chennai. We have a racing circuit in Coimbatore. Then Naren Karthikeyan is coming up circuit in Coimbatore again. So, and then I believe there's a circuit coming up in either Bangalore or Hyderabad. So we have the circuits, but we don't have the international events, the one leg of these events coming to India. I think it's due to the customs regulations.
Okay.
So if the government can kind of ease the customs and policies to enable these promoters to bring in their cars, or it costs a lot. And in fact, let me tell you, the cost of running an Asian leg, Asian series, is a lot more expensive, probably 20-30% more expensive than in Europe, because all the cars, everything has to be shipped from Europe.
Right.
So why I say I would love to, now this year I have taken part in the Krementik 24-hour series. They have championships in Asia. And then the GT4, champions. And you have the Asian Le Mans series, which Naren Karthikeyan and me are going to be participating. We have 3 rounds of that series in Asia. Now, if we get support from the government by easing the customs policy, it's on the way. So either when they begin the Asian series, they would probably have 1 round in India and then move over to, let's say, Dubai, or Dubai, India, Malaysia, and then come back to Abu Dhabi, finish series and go back. So once people start seeing these races live, let me tell you something. No matter how glamorous or how well covered a sport is on television, the television doesn't do justice to the sport unless you're there, you see the speeds that they touch, the smell of burning rubber, the fuel, the whole, you need to experience this firsthand for people to start relating to the sport. Yeah, and then when you start having these championships in India, there are a lot of Indian drivers who are extremely talented but cannot afford to go to Europe to race. So when these promoters start having, or run races in India, drivers will be able to find sponsors for that one-off event where they can participate. And you never know, some team may notice them and then induct them into their driver code, what do you call, they have a program like, driver program, like where they take in youngsters and they train them till they get to the highest level possible in that particular sport. It could be Formula One or whatever, like. So every manufacturer has a driver program, to develop drivers, a driver development program. So that can happen.
So it opens up so many
It opens up because then it gives an opportunity for all the Indian drivers to find a sponsor to race in India, in their homeland, in front of their people. Imagine the motivation. Let's say having 50, 60,000 people coming to watch you race, that motivates you to do better. There are so many things that can happen. So it is very important for India to start having international races, events come to India, but thereby giving an opportunity for all the Indian drivers to participate and find that sponsor, find that corporate who will be willing to at least sponsor that one-off event.
Yeah.
That's enough. It's just that first step that we need. And then probably, like I said, teams will pick them up. A lot of things can happen.
But to me, that spark has been, because, with you in motorsport, there's so much conversation about what you do. And the fact, of course, that you have this massive fan base. Even here in Barcelona, I said that your fans gather here. Because of that, a certain interest that's been piqued in them. Also, don't you think about motorsport?
I'm definitely grateful to my fans, for they take the effort to come to, it happened in Dubai, Spa-Francorchamps, Nürburgring, Germany. So likewise, just like my fans have started following motorsports. In fact, from the next series, I plan to have, I want to promote Indian cinema. So I'm having a logo on the car which says Indian cinema, the largest producers of films in the world in over 20 Indian languages. The reason is, it's entertainment and sports have always, been a very important part of, they go hand in hand. And look at what happened during COVID. It was entertainment and sports that kept the people sane. So, I consider myself very blessed to be a part of the film industry, Indian film industry, the Tamil film industry. 33 years in the film business. I'm able to do all this because of the love, goodwill.
That's just a glimpse of what goes on right now during the testing. But yeah.
So, the love and the goodwill from people, from, fans, from the media. So likewise, I would want, because in the last 8 months that I have been racing, a lot of people from other drivers, teams have walked up to me wanting to know more.
Cars are getting up.
Wanting to know more about Indian cinema. Sometimes the commentators refer to our cinema as Bollywood. So it's still. So it's like, want them to know that Indian cinema is, Bollywood is a part of Indian cinema. So it's like probably they'll start watching other films. They'll start watching Malayalam films, Telugu films, Hindi films, Bhojpuri films. So if that happens, it would be a wonderful thing, right? Motorsports fans following Indian cinema. Indian audiences were starting to follow motorsports. So it is a win-win situation for everybody involved here.
I don't know if you've seen the movie F1.
Yes, I did.
That itself created such a stir about what motorsport is. Do you ever toy with the idea of doing something similar in India, of having, a movie about?
See, if it happens organically, yes. I wouldn't. Again, things have to happen organically. First of all, people need to understand the sport. They need to be aware as to what are the different formats of the sport, how each format, functions, and what it takes for a driver to get to each of these formats. So there's so many things. But if it does happen organically, why not? maybe a collaboration, Hollywood collaboration or an international
So it makes a
production.
big difference.
It makes a big difference. So I just hope for the best.
You were talking about putting a sticker on the car that talks about Indian producers. I noticed also that you have a logo of
Yes, the Tamil Nadu State Development Authority. The reason being, they conducted the first street race in Chennai last year. As a motorsport fan, as someone who loves motorsport, for a government taking the initiative to promote an event, conduct the first street night race, it was a big boost for motorsports. As a mark of, let's say, gratitude, I requested them if I can, and the Sports Development Authority is doing a lot for other sports as well, not just motorsports. I mean, they're doing a lot, and I thought, what better way that to, express my gratitude. So it's not that they're sponsoring us. We didn't seek sponsorship, like I told you. They have a lot of other important things to be taken care of. But the fact that Chennai had its first night race and it drew a lot of, crowd.
Yeah.
And yes, there were teething problems in putting it. It's the first of its kind, so it takes time, for the organizers to understand how to conduct the event. There were glitches, but we appreciate the effort that went.
Starting sound.
It's a small step. So
the sound you constantly hear is, of course, the vehicles going by. That speed, what does it feel like to be in the car driving at that speed?
honestly, when you're in the car,
It takes 1 minute to do what?
this is a 4.7 kilometer, 4.7 plus. A very good lap time in the circuit is somewhere around 1 minute 45, late 45 seconds. So and that's by the professional drivers, pro drivers. The AM drivers like me will probably do a 148, 49. That's how fast it is. In fact, Spa Francorchamps circuit is about 7 kilometers, and we do that in about 2 minutes. So, but like you asked, you don't, as a driver, you're not thinking about, you don't realize the speed that you're doing until you go off the circuit or you have a bad crash. Otherwise, you're so busy, you're so focused on picking your braking points, your market, so there's so many things happening in the car, talking to your team, engineer, race engineer. So it's,
What was your first race like when all this happening? Were you overwhelmed? Do you remember?
I was, because I was coming back to racing. You mean my first ever race? Or it's like...
When you came back?
It was overwhelming, intimidating, scary, excitement. I mean, a whole range of emotions that I went through. This was the Dubai 24-hour race. And then I had a bad crash. But then again, I see a lot of people commenting on the crashes that I had. But if you ask any team, any person, any racing driver, crashes are a part of motorsports.
It's pretty scary to...
It is, but then you have to understand that these cars are built with that purpose. So driver safety is of primary importance when they design a car. So it's designed in a way that the driver is protected. It's very rare that you have a fatality. See, you're pushing the limits of the car. You're testing your own limits. You're pushing your limit. So accidents and crashes are bound to happen.
Does it deter you to have this kind of a crash? Because mentally also it must be...
So far it has. So far it hasn't. I mean, look at films. All my injuries, all the surgeries that I underwent were due to injuries I sustained at the shooting spot while performing my stunts. So that didn't deter me. Nor did fans tell me, "Oh, you're getting hurt. Please don't do films." So why is it that, why would it deter me in motorsports? And again, you have bad days, you have good days, but when you get on a podium or you do very well in a race, the recognition that you get, the high TT, you feel good about, everything. When things fall into place, you get excited. It makes you happy. It makes my soul happy.
I'm sure you were driven by passion. But now that there's racing happening, let's move this also to another corner. So I think we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Let's just take this.
Sure.
Go there.
Yeah.
what I was referring to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is this particular post, because the moment I entered, what first struck me is the fact that they have the tricolor put up here. This must be a moment of great pride. It kind of sinks in then.
Of course, of course.
All that you have established, all that you have set up has come true.
Of course, very proud to be an Indian. Very proud to be a part of Tamil film industry and to be representing the film industry here on international circuits and represent the country as a racing driver. Because, like I said, I'm really blessed.
Do the other racers, and I'm just curious here, do the other racers have any sense of the fanfare around Ajith? Because I know a lot of fans end up at these locations as well where the races happen.
Initially, they weren't aware as much, but then fans started visiting the other circuits, like I mentioned in Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium, and the other places, Dubai. So that's when the curiosity of wanting to know more Indian films, that's when it happened. So they started asking me a lot of questions about how films are made and how many languages are films in India made. So it's nice. So that's the reason I decided, why not, since they're not aware that,
Correct.
We make films in many languages. So to let them know that, we are the largest producers of films,
When you do films, and, neither is part-time, both take immense amount of effort, both take immense amount of time, whether it's this or films. How much do you actually manage to race at a time when, you're in a film schedule? You don't manage to at all, I'm sure.
I'm trying to be a part of a lot of championships in the coming year. So I will have to find a balance. I will have to find like-minded people who see the importance both for the sport and for the Indian film industry. I mean, there are different ways of promoting a film so probably I would like to use Motorsports as a platform, because like you have a lot of our functions being held internationally. Right? Idea is to bring in a lot of international audiences as well, like see how the Korean films are very popular today in India. So I would like Indian films. I mean, I'm sure they are popular, but again, probably it's only region specific. Probably it's more Bollywood films, Hindi films. Like, I would like them to watch films in all the other languages: Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Bhojpuri. So probably, I would like to use this as a platform. I don't know how successful it would be, but it is an initiative. And likewise, Motorsports trying to, and when I talk Motorsports, it is not just about India, that region. I mean, there's so many circuits. You have circuits in China, Malaysia. Like I said, there's so many good things that can happen out of it. And believe me, I'm so grateful that you are here to cover this. It's like, behind the scene, people see, films behind the scene, and then they understand, okay, the film industry is a very tough industry.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, I'd like the same to happen with Motorsports. People see the podium celebrations, they see all the good thing. They don't see the pain that goes behind, where, you could get hurt, lose a life, or you're very close to finishing on the podium, but you have a technical issue with the car, you don't finish the race, or you have you're dicing with another car. There's so many things, the disappointments, the heartbreaks, and the effort. I mean, it takes you away. Film industry is also like, you're away from your family for most of the time.
So film doesn't do well.
Yeah, it hurts you, right? It's like that, we work so hard for a film, 6-7 months. We work so hard, and nobody wants to make a bad film. Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Even the what shall we say, the geopolitical situation also affects the mindset of people when they come to watch a film. The weather, there's so many things that actually play a part in a film doing well, apart from a bad script or a good script. There's so many other factors that influence people's minds. Similarly, racing. So many things that goes into preparing oneself for the sport, for a team to prepare. Like I said, finding sponsors is one of the greatest hurdles that a team or a driver needs to, overcome.
Yeah.
And I think corporates is I sincerely hope, automobile manufacturers or, manufacturers of different automobile components, anybody who feels it could enhance the visibility of their brand, their business, can come in.
You're speaking of challenges that both industries kind of face, and you're someone who's invested deeply in both, in the sense that you're very much still active as an actor. You're so active also as a racer. I also wonder where you get the time. I mean, to be with your family. Your family is, of course, in the world. Then films, inevitably, I'm sure shooting is in India. This takes you across Europe. So that's a lot of travel, I'm sure.
It is.
A lot of multitasking.
It is, but it is something that I have taken up, and nothing comes easy. Nothing.
But do you get time for your family?
I do. In fact, I have my wife and children coming in tomorrow.
So they come in constantly?
Not for all the races, because my daughter's 17. She just started her undergrad. My son is 10.5 years old, so he's joined a new school. So there's so many other things that Shalini is handling. And if not for her support, I wouldn't be able to do all this, So, looking after the home, the children when I'm away. So it's not just sacrifice from my side. The sacrifices, the children hardly get to see me.
Yeah.
I don't get to see them. I miss them as much as they miss me. So these are things that, it's never, it's never seen or never understood.
Yeah.
And it's not in my case, it's in everybody else's case, The teams are traveling, the mechanics don't get to see their family, they're away from it. But again, when you love something so dearly, and you have to make your sacrifices. And if you're lucky, if you find your family, your partners, supporting you in your endeavor. So. Yeah, so nothing comes, nothing comes easy. You have to.
I was wondering if you've seen the video that your wife posted on Instagram that went viral. Did you see it?
Which one?
It's a video that she's posted where you're actually kind of joking.
Oh, yeah.
She touches your feet, and you say, no.
I get home, I will do it.
What is this? And she said, melts my heart and cracks me up. I think that sums up also what goes on between the two of you. But are they also now into motorsport as a result of,
Shalini has always, after I got married, I think 2002 is when I again got back to racing for a brief. She was there. She was with me, at all the events, all the races, and then the kids happened, and so the responsibilities come with that. She got busy, and but she follows motorsports. My son is now in love with motorsports, so he has started go-karting, but not on a very serious level. So probably give him time for him to understand, to realize if he really wants to do it, pursue it. If he does, then I'll probably put him on to the right people who can guide him.
But is that what you're hoping for? That your kids also get...
No, I would have. No, honestly, be it films or racing, I would not want to force my views on them or my what shall I say?
Your interest.
My interest. No, I want them to come on their own, find out for themselves what is it that they want to do, what is it that they want to pursue, and support them in any way possible, or in every way possible.
I see a lot of actors in India right now, particularly in the Tamil film industry, who are looking beyond just acting, into other interests, into passion projects. Do you think that now people of the industry also are more accepting of that? For you too, I think they've embraced what you do and given it so much love.
It has always been happening. If you look, I don't know as far as sports is concerned, but we've had a lot of actors go on to become very successful business men, there were actresses who have been successful in business ventures. It's maybe thanks to social media today, people are getting to know about it. I'm sure in the earlier days, they have ventured into other industries or other professions and done well for themselves.
So it helps.
It helps. And today social media, is a wonderful tool. In the right hands, it's a wonderful tool. In the wrong hands, it can be disastrous. So I just hope people empathize, understand, and follow motorsports. And likewise, the international audience also starts to take to Indian films, like how Korean films are very popular all over the world today. Korean web series, films.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my friends who speak Korean now just because they've been watching.
Just because of the movies.
All the web series. They can understand. They speak a little bit of.
Do you have time to watch any of?
I don't.
No.
The time I get to sleep is in the aircraft, but then I have a sleeping disorder. I find it hard to put myself to sleep, and then if I sleep, it's not more than max 4 hours.
You have a lovely big team.
Oh, it's a lovely.
Yeah,
I mean, this team Redand is run by Mr. Berth, and it's a family. His wife Inge, their sons race Ayrton and Yannick.
Okay.
And so does their friend Kobe. So it's a wonderful team. Inge, in fact, cooks lunch for us, ensures that all of us are well fed, looked after, well hydrated before we get into the car. We have a physiotherapist, we have some great engineers, race engineers, wonderful mechanics. So it's like family away from family,
So I wonder, when you talk of your team and all of the people involved, there was so much that goes into motorsport. And I asked you this the last time we met as well, that being on social media, putting the word out there, it makes a big difference. So have you never felt tempted to do that yourself? When it comes from you, of course.
It's my humble request to people. I mean, don't look at it as Ajith, Kumar, the actor, racing. Look at it as a sport on the whole. I'm doing it because I love the sport. But like I said, in the process, if it kind of, gets people's attention and somewhere, it starts to spread, I'll be happy. But I don't want to sound politically correct or lie saying, oh no, I'm doing it for the sport, I'm doing it for cinema. No, it's something I love to do, and probably see it happened organically. Just as films happened organically, racing. I thought I was done with the motorsports, but then again, I'm very, I would say, I believe in a supernatural power. So something has made it happen. When you think it's all over and done, suddenly I get this opportunity to come back to racing again. So I would like to make use of this opportunity, and at the same time, I hope it can open up doors for both Indian cinema worldwide and motorsports in India. So it's not about Ajith. It's not about Ajith Kumar racing. It's about motorsports. It's about Indian motorsports. It's about the future of a lot of, But I'm telling you this. Mark my words. I hope it happens during my lifetime. But there will be a day when we will have an Indian driver who will go on to become a Formula One world champion.
Wow. You're confident?
No, let me tell you this. I remember in 2003 when I was, in 2002, I was racing in the Indian championship in the FISMI, Formula Indian Maruti single-seater class. And we had the last round, after which we had the prize distribution ceremony. I say this because someone sent that interview of mine saying that I had mentioned that very soon, Naren Karthikeyan would go on to become an F1 driver. And in 2 years, in 2005, Naren Karthikeyan did go on to become India's first Formula One driver. And then I think in 2008, Karun Chandak followed. So, I mean, you got to give it to Naren for being, for having... I mean, today a lot of parents are looking at their children taking up motorsports as a career. All thanks to Naren Karthikeyan, Karun Chandok, the Chandok family. I mean, they struggled. They struggled, to achieve whatever they did. And I still feel, okay, Naren's coming back to racing after many years now. We're doing the Asian Le Mans together.
Yeah.
I hope it opens up doors for him where he could go on to become, a paid team driver in the World Endurance Championship. I'd like to see Naren in a Ferrari or one of the leading brands as a factory driver again. I am a hardcore optimist, and I'm sure it will happen. I am sure it will happen. And if it happens together, I'll be all the more happy.
So since you're saying that we're going to see an F1 champ in India, I think a great deal of that is going to be how much you have a conversation about this in India. I must tell you that, when we spoke a few months ago, all your fans immediately started flooding me saying, do a video interview. So I'm fulfilling their request right now. But how can your fans also, you have that large fan army, so if you had a message for them on what they can do to also help in spreading the word of motorsport, not only?
Just as they have supported, they watch films, they love cinema, they love entertainment. Just like you follow cinema, I'd like them to follow motorsports as well. And not when I am racing. When other drivers represent our country, please follow them, support them, encourage them, But like I said, I'm extremely grateful to them, to the media, to my firm fraternity, fans, everybody, the respective governments, be it the state or really grateful. And this cannot happen without all of their support, like family, my siblings. Imagine having someone playing the devil's advocate and telling you, no, don't do this, it's not good for you. It would be
important.
It's very important that you have people who support you,
Correct.
who don't stop you, but sometimes I would say, okay, as long they may not support you, but as long as they don't discourage you from doing something. I request everybody, there may be somebody in your family wanting to do something. You may not support them, but don't discourage them. Give them time. Let them attempt, see for themselves, if it works for them, doesn't work for them, and just don't discourage people.
No, I think it's a great, beautiful message, especially because so many of these young fans are so influenced by what you say that I think that even when you say this, it kind of also is something they tend to follow. They'll not forgive me if I don't ask you also what's coming up as far as your films are concerned in the next few months.
No, we will let you know when official announcement happens.
Okay, so nothing right now.
No, the script is getting ready.
Nothing we can discuss.
No, it's just that I'm bound by a contract, so I need to wait before we make the formal announcement.
Thank you so much, sir, for having us here in Barcelona, for inviting us over, and for giving us all of this time just ahead of a race. All the very best to you.
Thank you, Akshita. Thank you. Thanks to everyone at India Today for having taken the effort, coming here to cover this weekend. Thank you so much, and I hope whatever I have said is taken in good spirits.
Yeah.
And please pray for us. Please pray for us.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.